We the real Jews, no faking. I believe ain't no Haitian. It's right, yo, my nation. Christ coming back, be patient. Patient, 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 patient. Patient, 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 patient.
We long suffering, that mean we patient. We recovering. Awake the nation, change your mind, transformation. Present God's lost presentation. Only way you get salvation. Christ gave us the demonstration. I Haitian, I ain't black. I am Israel, that's a fact. My spirit bear witness, I'm dismissing Christmas. Encounter a Christian, God's work up with quickness, reviving the sickness. Asking for patience and asking forgiveness. I'm doing His business until it's the finish. His work keep me driven, His goodness He given. Hey, hey.
We the real Jews faking. I believe ain't no Haitian. It's right, yo, my nation. Christ coming back, be patient. Patient, 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 patient. Patient, 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 patient. Hey. We the Jews, no faking. I believe ain't no Haitian. It's right, yo, my nation. Christ coming back, be patient. Patient, 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 patient. Patient, 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 patient.
We long suffering, that mean we patient. We recovering. Awake the nation, change your mind, transformation. Present God's lost presentation. Only way you get salvation. Christ gave us the demonstration. I ain't Haitian, I ain't black. I am Israel, that's a fact. My spirit bear witness, I'm dismissing Christmas. Encounter a Christian, God's work up with quickness, reviving the sick. Asking for patience and asking forgiveness. I'm doing His business until it's the finish. His word, His goodness He given. Hey, hey, hey.
We the real Jews, no faking. I believe ain't no Haitian. Yo, my nation. Christ coming back, be patient. Patient, 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 patient. Patient, 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 patient.
But your patience, hear out the words that I'm speaking in cadence. I just opened up the book of the truth, pages looking for salvation. And I just been praying we make it. I've been
Again, for those who last night, and brothers worked all night to get it to where it is now, but obviously it's still
choppy.
Yeah, it's looking bad.
Everybody in a different position.
I'm over here like, damn, somebody phone loud. It's my phone once again.
What?
So, oh Lord.
Am I lagging? Yes. The connection's still bad. Okay.
This is not good.
Yeah. Hey, brothers and sisters, just bear with us.
Somebody said it's worse.
Yeah, bear with us. Okay.
We trying. Y'all know it's ain't how we usually do things around here.
Let's try this.
Damn, they said it's a lot worse.
Officer Elisha. Elisha. Oh, he's on the phone. Dang.
Sheesh.
All right, so somebody said it's good.
Send up some prayers for the PSR.
Yeah, send up some prayers.
IUIC 2 is better?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
PSR is the one. IUIC PSR is the one that's just like.
Yeah, I'm on
IUIC in a classroom too?
Two is better than.
2 is doing the same thing. I'm on 2.
Okay. Because somebody just said it's not. Okay.
What kind of internet you got?
You got that.
Somebody said it's not being choppy right now.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Well, I'm going by what they're saying.
Dang. All right. Brothers and sisters, stay tuned. We're gonna try to get this thing troubleshot.
We so
Officer Solomon just hit me, said it's chopping real bad.
All right, brothers and sisters, we'll be right back.
Wait, are we signing off?
They can hear it.
They can hear fine. The audio's good, but
Lord. That's what I'm saying. So go ahead.
But
and
I can't,
out.
we can't talk the mess we normally talk. But it's a radio.
No, cat, we could talk it. It's
It's
radio.
It'll be like talk radio.
You remember, it is still radio.
It is radio.
It is still radio.
You all right? It is Patient Saints radio.
Not Patient Saints video.
Right. So the video is just an added bonus.
That's just something we gave y'all.
We gave y'all that for free.
Right. You ain't even for
You got that for the free ski.
I see what it's going right
Yes, I see it too. Yeah. Yes.
I'm glad they got the vision because I didn't have one. But I know what it can be. So, what we got? Let them hear it.
Let him
So,
Images is everything, bro.
Officer Alicia, Officer Daniel just said it's good. It's good now.
It's fine on IUIC TV.
Log into IUIC TV.
Shout out to
Sorry for you if you didn't pay the premium.
If you didn't pay $5,
you not getting
if you don't, $1. If you don't pay the $1, you don't get happy time.
$1.99. $1.99. You come, you watch, pay your off all the
You come now. You get happy time. You leave here happy.
You did a radio for you. Radio for you. $1.99. That's all you're doing.
So on IUIC TV, if you log in to IUIC TV, you're good to go.
They about to shut the streaming service down right now.
Hey
Everybody
man, listen, we got a
Noodle.
groundbreaking guest, so I can see why all of a sudden the power goes out and we have internet problems. Like, look, this is deeper than rap.
Right.
I'm trying to tell y'all something. There are those that don't want certain information to get out. So that's a light thing. You saw Obama entire country for one person.
For real.
like this is how it happens. So, I can see that being the reason behind it. Firstly, the gospel that goes out, and
not just those 4 books,
right? Not just those 4. Oh, my man, Mr. Moses West, he connected. All praises to the Most High. Good. So, Officer Manuel, you all right on that? All right, brother. You all.
Hey, Bryce gone.
Sitting over there looking like he's trying to get somebody to subscribe to a yearly work for Essence magazine.
Right.
Men's Health.
But hey, there's what you call it? There's a couple of articles that we did want to go to before we got to our special guest. There are a few articles, but you can't see them.
Waka waka.
Well, you hear her.
Oh,
You
yeah.
absolutely hear her.
Oh yeah, we gotta start with that sister.
Right.
I'm thank you, Sister Ione. I totally forgot about that.
This is radio.
It's hot, sweats in my eyes. I can't see. My eyes is on the table.
He pulled his eyes off.
There's a lot going on this morning. A fly trying to attack Captain. He been kung fu in the air all damn morning behind the scenes.
Y'all.
It's a lot going on this morning. It's a lot.
It's one of those days.
But can we play the sister? Can we play it? All right. So we due to connection issues, we know you can't see. Hopefully before it ends, you'll be able to see the sister. This sister kind of goes off. And so right now you can hear it. Some of you on IUIC TV, or if you have the app, some of y'all might need it right now. Just $1.99. Might as well to see one of the greatest radio shows on the planet. Greatest. Yes. I said it with full confidence. Because not only is it entertaining, it's true.
It's highly entertaining.
And I'm living for seeing Sister Iona cringe in her seat again as we play it. She was literally cringing in her seat. So
it's like, yes, I dare you.
That's gonna bring me some joy this morning.
This bitch can't whoop me.
That is not it. That's not. I thought about Hanaya when she was saying certain shit. I was like, that's like it was cutting.
It was cutting.
Not me, Hanaya. I thought about last week.
Yep. So we're gonna show her pictures to go along with it to remind everybody what the sister's saying. She has a valid point.
We just showing pictures now. We just holding up a picture.
Yeah. So let's play that real quick. All right. The thing is moving a little bit. It's moving a little bit. It's moving a little bit.
Right.
Are we in there?
It's doing better. Don't jinx it.
If you are a woman,
hold on. Don't say it. Hold on. Let's rejoice over the feed actually moving.
There we go.
The feed is moving.
Damn the devil.
Damn the devil.
That's right.
We got Most High working on our internet.
We got more with us than with you.
He out on the power line. Jesus on the main line.
He sent down some angels. He said, "Go hold the cord."
There's an angel with some aluminum foil right now, standing on one leg, doing this right here. Somebody said, "Pass me the pliers for the TV." Right now, there's an angel with aluminum foil. Oh man, all praises to the Lord, man. So let's play that. Let's play that. All praises. Defeated. Yeah, all praises.
Job, you are a special type of stupid.
Well, you gotta start
and I'm
over.
gonna tell you why. Because I don't dream of working. I don't dream of having a job. And you know what? It used to be a point in time where women didn't have to work. All they had to do was do their husband's laundry and make him dinner and have sex with him every once in a while, and they didn't have to work. But now, guess what? Women do have to work. And that's the problem with this society right now. But you know what? I'm going to add my little 2 cents to it. And here we go. Management positions are for men. Women should not be in management positions because women do not know how to handle power. As if this is a big shocker. Men were created to be in positions of power. Men were created to lead. Women were created to...
Stop that. We can't run past that.
I think it should start over.
Yeah, I think we got to, man.
Start it from the top. Start it from the top.
Like a big shocker.
It says the IUIC app isn't working.
No, it's not.
Hey, somebody said they didn't want everybody to go to IUIC TV. They're like, leave them on.
I tried. Yeah.
Wow, there's a serious sabotage going on today. Because, I mean, we normally get on the tech team for minor things, but for so many things to be going kind of in the wrong direction, it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense.
They ain't that bad.
We want to hear this sister's her insight. She has some deep wisdom that she wants to share with the world.
One more again.
So you're not hearing you know what? And remember, that's why the sisters are now on the show, because they started to say we're misogynist and we're one-sided. So, you know, we want you sisters to chime in all the time. So we want to hear from this sister, who surely the Lord is dealing with.
That's right.
Surely the Lord is dealing with her. Go ahead, play it.
Oh, man.
You are a special type of stupid. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't dream of working. I don't dream of having a job. And you know what? It used to be a point in time where women didn't have to work. All they had to do was do their husband's laundry and make him dinner and have sex with him every once in a while, and they didn't have to work. But now, guess what? Women do have to work. And that's the problem with this society right now. But you know what? I'm going to add my little 2 cents to it. And here we go. Management positions are for men. Women should not be in management positions because women do not know how to handle power. As if this is a big shocker. Men were created to be in positions of power. Men were created to lead. Women were created to follow. Men are smarter than women. Men are stronger than women. Why is this such a big shocker in today's day and age? Every time I look on TV, women have been upgraded to all of these new fancy positions. You got women out here, they want to be captains of ships. They want to be police officers and firefighters. That's so stupid. If I'm ever in need of some sort of help, do not send a female police officer to my door. Do not come to my house. If you are a female firefighter, do not come to my house. Period. And I'm on record saying that every time I see a woman in a position of authority, I think two things. She's in over her head and she doesn't know what she's doing. And why would I want a female firefighter or a female police officer showing up to my house? Everything y'all do, y'all need a man for backup. Might as well just job. You know that stuff is too heavy for you guys to lug up all of those stairs. Why would I have a woman try to defend me on my behalf? If I call the police, if I call 911, I want the biggest, strongest man on the police force to come to my door. I don't want some woman. Do not send a woman to my house. I don't care if she's 6 feet tall. Stay where you are. Literally, the only thing a female police officer can do is to point me to a male police officer. Can you hear people talking about, oh, women are so strong, women can do anything, women can do everything, women can't do jack squat without men. If you ask people to list off what is the one thing, what's the strongest and the toughest thing that women do? Bear children. That's the number one thing they'll tell you, bear children. Guess what? A man had to invent the freaking epidural for women to have children in freaking peace. We still needed a man's help for the hardest thing that women do. All your husband wanted you to do was freaking sweep the floor and have sex with him when he comes home from work. Why is that so hard? Half of y'all on the internet selling it, next minute give it to a man that's paying the mortgage. This is crazy. No, but you call it empowerment. It's empowerment when you sell it for $5. It's weakness. It's you're weak and you're dumb and you're stupid if you give it to your husband who's taking care of you. That's dumb. You sell it for $5 on OnlyFans. That's empowerment. Y'all are so stupid. Like, literally stay away from me with all of this. Women out here trying to run everything. Y'all are running everything in the ground. Go home and do some laundry and raise your kids. And male pilots come out that a pair of panties is close to the cockpit. I would never get on an airplane knowing full well that there's a female pilot. I would never do it. My life is in jeopardy. My life is at risk. Why would I risk my life? You got a whole bunch of stupid people that will sit there, well, a woman can do anything a man can do. Well, you sit your dumb ass there and you sit on that plane and watch it crash. I'm not going to do that. And there ain't supposed to be no female surgeons either. All these positions of power for men. I don't want no female operating on me. For what? All you need to do is to pass the scalpel, pass this, pass that. You ain't supposed to be calling the shots. Not over me. You ain't gonna be calling my son. Wipe his forehead. Don't need you sitting up here talking about, well, I think, don't nobody care what you think, Mary Beth. Don't nobody care what you think. Mary Beth. Elizabeth. These crazy freaking white feminists leading this world to hell. And here comes the black women. Well, okay, here we come. Stupid.
I can't right now.
Hey, give her a hand.
No one cares if you think Mary Beth. This woman is a national treasure.
Yeah. Somebody get that woman a flyer, man.
Uh-oh.
That was funny.
Oh, she was mad.
Listen, she said, if I see some pair of panties by the cockpit.
Hey, Cal, somebody said, can I prove this, sister?
Wow.
Oh, that was too funny.
Wow.
So, if you guys remember last week, you know, she's basically saying some sisters shouldn't be in certain positions, right? Sisters shouldn't be in certain positions. And last week, Sister Hananana made a confession. Her being a truck driver, she tore up so much property as she drove her truck. We had pictures of one of the loads that she confessed to not strapping down right, or I don't know what the hell happened.
All that came forward. But I do got a picture of the landing gear.
She said it so nicely. All of that you see came forward.
It did. That bleach bottles was busted on the side, but I didn't take pictures.
Toilets was broke.
Oh yeah, those are toilets. What was that, porcelain? What they made out of?
Yeah, they was broke.
All the glacier
They didn't
toilet.
come out. They was on the pallet. They scooted, but that came out.
So who they blame?
Not me.
Oh, you are the epitome.
She went in there and said, I'm sorry.
She said,
wow. Did you say it like that? I'm so sorry.
No, I said, I think I hit some speed bumps, but I'm sorry. That's all.
Wow. So show the other pictures.
this is the beginning.
That's how it started.
How it started off.
Oh, Lord.
How it ended up.
This lady is not wrong.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That sister is
Oh my
not wrong. What are toilets?
The toilets is
Gone, they
behind.
crushed up.
The toilets is
The door
somewhere
was
down the
closed.
street.
I had to close them to move back.
That's why everything at Lowe's and Home Depot done doubled.
It's all
Right,
broke.
right. Yeah.
No way, boy.
And they put those racks up so I could move back.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
No one cares how you drive, Mary Beth.
Listen, Elizabeth. Look.
Nah, that's more than a damn speed.
That's extra.
That's the curb. She jumped.
Go leave it
That's
at.
it. You was going in that parking lot on one side.
She jumped a bike ramp.
Yeah.
Now, do we agree with this? We can understand her frustration, right? We can, because there are certain positions that women assume a manly spirit in order to do that position, and that is military. Sister Iona, you want to attest to that? Military sisters have a manly. You was in the military.
You know what? No, they act like babies in there too.
Okay, so you explain. Since I said Iona's mute all of a sudden, she's mute.
I was gonna say, okay, it all depends. Okay, I was having this conversation with Caleb last night. It all depends on what job you take in the military. So those are like MPs, which is military police. They are very manly. Those that's trying to do like
Special ops type stuff.
They are very manly. But then on the flip side, you have people that do kitchen, people that do office work, people that do like stuff. It's
no
a regular job.
Whenever they work with us,
Hold up. I'm gonna ask her a question. So why, when I just met you always have that bag on your back?
that bag on your back,
like you ready to go fight. I said, woman,
Look at her face.
come on, you better change your country.
But that didn't come from the military. I'm the only girl out of 5 boys.
So why you come country?
Because I am country. That's why you call me country girl.
Ah, that is funny.
I am country.
she had a rucksack.
She come like she's still in the army, son.
So she had a rucksack ready. She was ready.
MREs and high heels.
She was ready with her
If I
rucksack.
told y'all the stuff I used to
God.
carry in there.
Let's tell us.
No.
Tell us what you used to do.
She would talk to Barnabas in clicks. I'll be there in 5 clicks.
No.
What them is them clicks? What
But
them
for
is?
real though, they started calling me Pinky because once I got out, because one day I came home, I think Caleb was like 3 years old and he told me I looked like a boy. So after that, I made sure I always wore something pink. To
to
but
let people know you was a girl. I am a girl, damn it.
She had a pink rucksack.
I always wore something
Sock
pink.
was pink.
So you
I
gotta
am
bring
a
the pictures.
girl.
So
Bring pictures. Okay, and I wasn't one of
a
them.
lot of
rough-
stuttering going on.
No, because
wanna
I
see
would
'em.
bring pictures, but my military pictures don't. I used to get in trouble all the time because I was too feminine.
They be
I don't like your version. I want to hear Carmela's version.
when they work and they have to work a job, like they do have some that they like say they work with logistics where all they do is sit there and order parts. You like okay, they have
like
them.
this.
Right.
They have them. But then you have ones like when I got I got hit with a sexual harassment charge.
Whoa.
Cause the female said that I harassed her, but what I told her was get off your ass and come out here and help us work because it was raining and she in the it's raining outside. I'm like,
Yes.
all of us is outside in the rain and your ass sitting in here watching Three's Company. Get your ass up.
Right.
That was
Oh,
me.
so because you said ass, that was a sexual harassment charge.
I got sexual harassment. I got a sexual harassment. But that's what they do. So
is this?
they do the bare minimum. Everything is help me. Like the sister said, the best thing you could do is call the man because they need the man to come help. Like she had to hook up the truck to pull the
See, that's
helicopter.
why I ain't have no job like that.
Most of
But
the
she
Home
couldn't
Depot
do it,
workers
so
help me.
we got to go do it. And then she, like, get your
So you're
ass out the
saying
way.
she's getting the same pay as you to do the job y'all doing, but we're
have
doing
to-
her job.
But we're doing her job.
Damn, what the hell is
Yeah,
this?
that's not like my job.
That's double duty.
when they be struggling to lift a box, I look the other way.
Hey, I started doing that too. I had a job like that.
Yep. I'm
Come
sorry.
help me. I'd be like,
Don't get me wrong. I have those. We cool. So, but for the most part, I'm good.
Tell her I didn't help you sign that application.
Yeah, I'm
hey,
good.
that's the part I don't like. If you gonna do that, then they gotta have the same standard. If I gotta do 100 push-ups, you got to do 100
Well,
push-ups.
I used to make 300 on my PT
and not the girl push-ups when you the knees.
No,
on the ground.
you can't do no girl push-ups.
Yeah, but the number cut in half.
I'm making a
But
statement.
I could do y'all stuff back then.
But the number cut in half. You hear
I
that?
said I could do y'all stuff.
I was playing my PT score, yeah.
You hear
Look at his
that?
eye.
He said, yeah,
I
right.
said back then.
We might need to play that video game for Sister Iona.
No one cares how many push-ups you can do, Mary Beth.
Went in one ear and out the other.
Elizabeth.
No, you asked the question. But I was one of the ones that, well, I had a job that I didn't have to do that. I just had to make sure I had my little precision cutters and cut wires and things of that nature. But when it come to like lifting heavy stuff, like if I had to do a wire on like an engine, I was like, I'm not climbing up there. Y'all got to bring that engine down. I wasn't doing
So we
all
got to
that.
bring the
So you
engine
did carry
off.
engines.
No, I know, never.
You just said
You made me
I
carry
said
it
get
for
a
you.
wire because I did all the wiring on the helicopter.
You made the men carry it for you
Bring it down.
on the pulley.
Yep.
Y'all see that? Stay home and fold your laundry and have sex with your husband and sweep the floor.
So real quick.
I have a problem with that.
So okay, so let's go to Proverbs 31 real quick. And we know in the book of Tobit that Tobit's wife took women's work. And we've gone over this before. There's a certain caliber of work that is considered women work. Like back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, it would be like the what do you call that? The telephone operators with that switchboard operators. It would be those sometimes domesticated jobs, things of that nature.
You know, sewing,
Sister Iona used to
cooking.
lift and fix helicopter engines.
I already know who wrote that.
So women's work is more domesticated, less labor intensive. It still had a feminine side to it, you know. But over time, that has obviously changed, and women have to assume a more masculine role to do certain jobs, like your correction officers. Remember, we went over Rikers Island a couple weeks ago when the sister, she was surrounded by 5 inmates. 4 of them were trying to get to the one inmate behind her, and they were ready to go through her to get that inmate. And she was a small, pint-sized sister. And you have to, so to be in that kind of environment with all these masculine, manly men for doing various crimes and whatever the case may be, you have to assume that masculine energy in order to match theirs so they can take you seriously.
Or you be like the one who didn't match the masculine energy and let the inmates hit them.
Yeah, exactly.
You in the job, you supposed to be controlling the inmates. You giving them sex.
Right.
You stay your behind.
I saw a thing yesterday. This one guy got four COs pregnant. Simultaneously, 4 COs. I saw that yesterday, matter of fact.
You supposed to be working, telling them what to do. You sneaking them in the doggone control center, letting them hit.
Read verse 10. Proverbs 31, verse 10 first.
Proverbs chapter 31, verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
So a virtuous woman, her price is far above rubies. Now, I know we hear this all the time, but as you read into the chapter, it gives you, it's descriptive of what is the qualifications to deem this woman virtuous, right? Jump to verse 13.
Verse 13. She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands.
So the domesticated work that she does it willingly or joyfully in order to provide clothing, in order to provide forms of shelter, bed coverings, whatever. She's making these things with her hands willingly. Verse 14.
Verse 14. She is like the merchant's ships. She bringeth her food from afar.
So now she'll travel long distances to get the best foods for her family. It's not the junk food. It's not
Grubhub.
Yes, it's not Grubhub. She's actually taking a care for her family's diet. That's a lot of work. And this is what the sister's saying. She's like, listen, if you are playing a position, a womanly position, you have a lot of work to do in that womanly position. But what sisters do is, and here's the thing, we understand there are some households that do need 2 incomes. There are some households that need 2 incomes, but there are some of you who don't need to work. you choose to work to negate or to lessen some of your household duties or to lessen some of your congregational duties. Yes. So the work is not necessarily because your household needs the finances. You want to use that as a cloak to cover up the lack of work, whether in your house or in the congregation. Damn. Huh? I'm talking to somebody. I know you hear me. Keep going. Verse 15.
Verse 15. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her house.
So when does she start to prepare meals? She went far to get the good food. She begins to prepare it that night. So her day is literally filled with a lot of work. Go ahead.
And a portion to her maidens.
So she makes sure that her staff is well taken care of, right? Go ahead.
She considereth a field and buyeth it.
Real estate.
Go ahead.
With the fruit of her hands, she planteth a vineyard.
So it says she's able to buy she's able to buy a plot of land. And on that plot of land, she has the skill set to plant and grow vineyards on that land, meaning she's putting it to use. It's not just a plot of land just to go brag to her friends. Yeah, I bought 53 acres. I bought 200 acres. What you doing on it?
She shed.
I'm supposed to do something on it? Yeah, the scripture says you're supposed to be able to plant something that's going to benefit your family. So now you don't have to necessarily go as far for good food because you're now planting it.
17. She girdeth her loins with strength and strengtheneth her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good.
So what she makes, her merchandise is actually good for sale, that she can go and purchase this land. She has a skill set to plant on that land, so on and so forth, right? Listen, there's a lot of sisters right now that can't sit outside because bugs, because the air, because the tree leaves blow, whatever your reasoning is. And yet you'll deem yourself a virtuous woman. No, that's not what God says a virtuous woman is. A virtuous woman is considering all of these things for the betterment of her Lord, her husband, and her family. That's her priority. Her priority is she's not buying land to brag and to be to keep up with the Joneses. She's doing it for the betterment of her family, because when you read verse 11.
Verse 11. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil.
So now, her husband safely trusts in her. So if there's some brothers who their wife doesn't work, but they give them money every week. Say, here, put this in the stash, this for you. Some sisters will spend it frivolously.
Right.
Others will save it, use it to do things like buy land, travel to buy the best foods, further distance, things of that nature. They use it in the way that God said they should use it. It's not to be Fendi'd out and Gucci'd out and all of these things. It's, all of the stuff that for these people that do nothing for your community.
Right.
You get it, and it's what do they call us? Liquid money.
Right.
We're considered liquid money. So we get the money and it's already out of the house. Right. It's not using to build your house. It's actually being used to pluck down your house. But that was it. So as you read Proverbs 31, starting from verse 10 down, it gives you the description along the lines of what the sister made mention. She's saying a woman shouldn't work at all, but there are ways for you to work that's going to better your household and not take away from the upbringing, from the peace, solace that's going to be in your household with the work that you're doing, because it's for your household.
Right. Make you think of like Romans 12. Yeah. Romans 12 it say, be not conformed to this world. But right. A lot of times we look at it, we'll read it or whatever, but the thought pattern be like, now the mind is, I gotta live like this is my dream, or what I envisioned for my life, that kind of stuff. And the Lord telling you, look, the same stuff that you say you want, I've already said that these are the type of things you're supposed to do, but you're doing it in the vanity of the way the world is set up now. Just say, for instance, the Lord just said that this sister buys real estate. You know what I'm saying? She know how many sisters out there, I want to be real estate. I want to do real estate. A lot. But guess what? If you took your Lord's money or your, you know what I'm saying, and took that help to, now you apply that, maybe guess what? Maybe you can, in this day and age, maybe you can use that money to help your Lord get a second house to help bring a second income in to the house. Well, guess what? You still not, working. But guess what? You got to be a real estate agent. You got to provide something. And if your Lord dwells safely with you, he'd look at that and say, you brought this much money in. Go ahead, keep that. Keep this much. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. You want to be doing certain things. Oh, I want to make the best meat. Here you go. Learn the garden. Learn to do some of these other things but you have to be transformed with the renewing of your mind. Like this is just as sustainable for a household and for a family as me putting in 10 hours at McDonald's. Oh, well, I ain't. But some people look, bro, when my wife had to go work that full-time job, that thing was humbling. Yeah. That sister was like, you know what? Yeah. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said what I said. The food is cooked. You come on through the house.
Hey, listen. So we have there was a video we wanted to show for a Segway, but because we had technical difficulty, the time escaped us. Segway for our guest. This morning, actually, Sister Leah, you wanna do the intro?
Yes, I sure will. We mentioned him, like you said last night. Mr. Moses West is his name. We actually talked about him on the show a couple years ago. He is the founder and CEO and owner of AWG Contracting and Water Rescue Foundation. Mr. West combines a very unique background as a prior member of the United States Air Force, where he is an esteemed member of the 75th Ranger Regiment, 2nd Armed Division, the 2nd Infantry Division, the 7th Cavalry Regiment, and the 101 Airborne Division. His experience with military deployment provides Mr. West with his advanced technical skills, thus propelling him into his lifelong mission of producing the leading edge of the most advanced technology to produce water from air. Let's give a very warm, patient saints welcome to our guest, Mr. Moses West.
Mr. Moses West, it is definitely an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show, sir. How are you, sir?
Can you hear us?
His mic muted.
He ain't hear none of that intro.
Come on, you gotta mute the brother's mic.
His mic.
How you doing there, Mr. Moses?
There you go. There we go.
Okay, Mr. West, can you unmute your mic on your side?
Unmuted.
See?
There you go.
He's good to go. So let's give Mr. Moses West another round of applause, y'all. Welcome to the show. We want to thank you. How are you doing today, good sir?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Good. It's definitely an honor and a pleasure to have a modern, brilliant mind on the show. I mean, I know we read a lot about inventors in history, but to actually have a great inventor on the show this morning is definitely an honor, sir. It's definitely an honor. We want you, if you can, I know Sister Leah gave you a great introduction, but if there's anything else you want to add to the intro that she may have left out so that the people can be familiar with who you are.
No, I think the best way to do it, there's so much to tell you. The best way to do it is just if anybody's got a question, I'll just answer any question that you want, you got. Okay. That's the best way.
Okay. So tell us, because we covered your story. I believe was it Flint, Michigan?
Yes.
When you brought your invention to Flint, Michigan, we had covered that here on the show, and we were in awe about it then. Tell us what led you to, I guess, go to Flint, Michigan at the time, and did you make it for that time? Did you make your machine? And tell us the actual name of your invention first. I'll say that. What's the name of it?
I coined the phrase atmospheric water generator.
Okay.
And because there was no name for it. So you see everybody use the word AWG now.
Right.
I started using that, and that's what it is. It generates water out of the air.
Okay, so he created a machine that generates water out of the air. I'm trying to listen. I was blown away by it. We were all blown away when we first heard about it. I was like, wow, what is this? So it's good to have you. So again, did you make it prior to the Flint, Michigan water crisis? Did you make it for that purpose, or how did that come about with you in Flint, Michigan?
Well, it was a long story up until that point. I had to. I was overseas. I lived in Australia for 11 years. Mm-hmm. I lived less in the United States than I lived out of it, actually. Mm-hmm. And so in Australia, we had droughts all the time, and I was looking at how to survive a drought, because in Australia everything's magnified because of climate change.
Right.
And then when I moved to Hawaii, I saw this machine in a house that produced drinking water out, and it was pulling the moisture from the water in the house. So I wanted to present this idea to the United States, and so I started in Texas, and I had to ride my bike around, because it was faster to ride my bike to go to the approval agencies than it was to drive my car. I had to get out of my car, take stuff with me, and so through this whole process, what I did, I got approved by the military to do the testing and research and design, built a machine that worked really well, built 2 more machines, and this is how I got started. And so I was working with the military for several years, and I had all of my equipment on a military base. It's a base in Austin. It's called Camp Mabry. It's right downtown Austin, Texas. And I lived there for... Around
what year is this?
Oh, this is 2014, 2015, okay. 2016, 17, 18.
Okay, yes, sir.
And so I was there, and when the Flint crisis happened, I was there locked into the base, and they said, what would you do? I said, if I could take one of these large machines that I built for y'all, I would take it there to Flint. And then Hurricane Maria hit, and I said, well, I would like to take one Hurricane Maria. And then after the military was already on board, I had the machines. And so the military, they had their machines, and I had the ones on the base that I was using to show them and prove the concept. And so what I did was I saw all this need, but everyone was still kicking the tires and talking and having seminars. Yeah. But that's not me.
Right.
So I said, okay, I don't have the money to do it. So I started a foundation, and I took the equipment off the base, and I used those funds to go support the mission in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria.
Right.
And then when I met the people in Hurricane Maria, I met Amber Hassan, who works with LaToya Ruby Frazier. And what I did was she asked me, she saw me in Puerto Rico because they were out of water. So they came, some folks from Flint that owned property over there came all the way to the island of Vieques. And they were from Flint. And someone had passed by them on the road in mainland Puerto Rico because they couldn't afford a gallon of water because it was going for $5 to $10 after Hurricane Maria for pure water. Wow. And so someone just passed by on a truck and gave them a 2-gallon container, because FEMA gave me the containers, gave it to these people from Flint, Michigan with their contaminated water. They tasted it. And the first thing Amber said was, she's got to go, where did this water come from? And he told me there's a guy over there with a machine. So they came to visit me. And while I was working, I didn't really have much time to talk. I think there's a video online about it.
Okay.
I look really bad. I'm really tired. I'm walking around the machine, and people are, the machine is taking care of itself. It's all automated. But there's people all around because everybody needed water. So I'm ensuring that people are in line. I'm ensuring that cables are hooked up and everything's working smoothly. Because I was there with a 26,000-pound machine that I built. I was by myself, and I had a military guard. And here's how I got to Flint. She said, promise me that when you're done with this, come to Flint. And I'm on an island in Puerto Rico. It took me a ship and a train to get there. and now I got to go back to Texas, get the other machine, put it on get a crane, put it on the chassis, and pull that all the way to Flint and do it again. And I did it.
Right.
I said, I promise you I'll do it. I always wanted to do it.
So you are a man of your word. Oh man, that's
when it comes to water, yeah, you have to be, because we want to donate money and we want to do lots of good things around the world, and we want to send out prayer to people, and we want to help, and we want to donate food, and we want to put these gardens in, and we want to educate children. But I have something that I've done where is I can actually go build a piece of machinery, and I can put it in my truck or get an 18-wheeler to pull it. I can plop down anywhere where people don't have water. I can sit there and I can supply 5,000 people with drinking water.
Wow.
No muss, no fuss. And I don't have to deal with all the bureaucracy because I've already got it federally approved.
Wow.
The United States military, I sell these to the United States Army, the Marines, special ops groups. I sell this machine to the federal government. I'm a federal government contractor.
So when you say you're only able to sell it to military branches of the military, or is it something that private commercial purchases can be made for this? Like if someone wanted to reach out to you and say, hey, we want to purchase this machine for whatever city they're in for whatever reason.
Individuals can purchase the machines from me. And now here's what I think I've been doing it for a long time, and people keep, they ask me, says, "Oh, what's the price of a machine?" And the price of, it varies because if you want something that's not in another machine, I can do it that way. This is not like going to the Ford dealer and getting a Ford Mustang. It's like the Ford Mustang all the way down the line.
Right.
I'm more of, if you want ozone with your machine, I'll give you ozone with your machine. If you need a heavy duty, something stronger in filtration, I'll give you that. If you want a chlorination system with your system, I'll build that in for you.
Wow.
If you want your system to weigh 1,000 pounds, I'll try to get it there. If you want it to be armored and bulletproof, I'll make it armored and bulletproof.
Wow.
You tell me what you want and I'll build it. That's how I work. Wow. In the military, they give me a set specifications of what they want. I go build it.
Right.
I'm the only company in the world right now that does that. I can custom build you a machine.
Wow.
And the price will vary.
Yeah. Good.
So what's the range? I know you're saying the price is going to vary. So just to give people like a idea, what's the range of it, of the price?
Okay.
From the low end to the highest that you've dealt with.
On the 800 right now, you can go from around 89,000, and then on the top end with some spare parts kit, it would be the top end. I'd say with a maximum that I could do to it, and when prices of metal would be maybe $115,000 maximum.
Okay.
So that's it. Give me two of those.
Let's say because when I'm doing custom, and you right now, if you ask me for the price of an ozone emitter, I can give you the price today for that ozone emitter, and then you can talk to me in 2 weeks, and the price has gone up $50.
Yeah, you're right.
I can give you the price for steel today. 2 weeks from now, steel is going to be somewhere else.
Fluctuates.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fluctuation in there. Hopefully we'll discuss this later.
Right.
And then on the large systems, there's no low end to that one. The large system, we're just talking $325,000. But for $325,000, hey, you're supplying drinking water to 5,000 people. Okay. Calculate that. If you're in it for the profit of it, you're making 5,000 liters a day.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
A liter of water costs $2, and when it's this pure, it's probably more.
Yeah.
And especially when it's that rare. So 5,000 times 2, that's 10,000.
Yeah,
a day.
Yeah.
A day.
Wow.
So if you're on the business side of getting a machine and bottling water, your return on investment, everything you invested in it, you get back the same year.
Right. Well, it's definitely you saw a need. Like you said, you were in Australia, the times of drought, so you were forward thinking in that, and this, I think that's what we like to highlight on the show. I know sometimes we talk about ratchet things, and we talk about things that are not conducive to our people and beneficial to our people, but at the same time, we do like to highlight those who are doing things and being forward thinkers and critical thinkers. That is also something that all of the youth that are watching need to see. They need to see the ability to achieve these type of feats and overcome whatever obstacles may come our way, and still be able to thrive in it. That's just as amazing for me to hear.
Absolutely.
Good. I know you had a question.
Yes, I do have a question pertaining to these machines. Are there options? Are you able to work in a financing? Are you able to? Can people finance these machines?
Yes, I'm a small.
No.
Wait a minute.
Who messed it up?
That's on his side.
His connection.
Company and to still own it. Okay. I tell you, I call it a running battle. It's a running battle to maintain my ownership, intellectual property, trade secrets, to protect yourself. Right. Because I have ideas about this technology that other people don't have. And I've created that and I put it in my machinery. But working towards that financing point, I think that there's financial vehicles out there where you can get a long-term financing loan for this equipment, and we're constantly working on that. And hopefully this year, I would like to have something in place with. Several lenders that would allow you to do that.
Excellent.
Excellent. I have another question. For the upkeep, so you were saying that you went to Puerto Rico to I guess help the machines work. If someone did purchase it, how is the upkeep and the lifetime of the machine?
What I try to do right now is I try to make the machines, give them a 30-year life expectancy. Wow.
Okay.
Oh, I build a Sherman tank of a machine.
Right.
You don't want. It's the one thing. It's not only the age of the inventor or the person who owns the company, but it's a mindset. It's something that we grew up with. We like quality. We like that 57 Chevy, that steel, right. Something that's going to last forever. And so on this machine, I had to lighten it up for the Marines. They said, we're still Marines, but your little machine that goes in the back of the pickup truck is coming in at 3,000 pounds, 3,500 pounds. Wow. I said, okay, I'll lighten it up. So I took 1,500 pounds of metal out of it. It's still the same, but I was thinking you guys want it bulletproof.
Right.
They won't be shooting at it, but it's going to be in the back, so I can make them lighter now. But they gave me some marching orders, and I went with that.
Right.
And so the other thing is, I work with another group of military people, and they placed lots of orders with me. And they told me, they said, we want this machine at the 8th grade level. I said, okay. 8th grade level. So that's how we do things in the military. Like we make a jet, we say that's at college level 16. And we make a tank, we want high school grade level 10. And so what I did is I said, okay, let me see what I can do. And I got that machine down to 6-year-old.
Wow.
Can operate and maintain it, is what you're saying?
I got to the place now, all you do is you turn it on, turn the switch, turn the power on, hit the button, and the machine goes on. Then there's a computer inside the machine that does everything. The startup sequence, you'll hear things come on at different times. It speeds up, it slows down because it's a dynamic piece of machinery. It's not just sitting there running at one speed all the time. If it gets really hot, it can slow down. If it gets really cold, it can speed up. If the humidity is high, it can slow down. If the humidity is low, it can speed up. It's always chasing certain parameters to make sure that we maintain the dew point. But that's what the brain is doing. The intelligence inside the machine is doing that.
Right.
All you have to do is hit the on button.
Wow.
I want to ask a question because it really seems like too good to be true. Like there's water everywhere. Here you go. What kind of hurdles have you had to jump to make this to where like
look at his face?
Because this is something that you would think that but because of the world that that we supposed to live in, they were like everybody should have water, and we have a pretty much unlimited source. What kind of hurdles have you had to deal with and obstacles in getting this machine produced and you not getting caught up in the bureaucracy of it that makes you just want to say, you know what, forget it all?
Oh,
dang, my bad. I'm sorry.
No, I just think about my friends call it a stream of consciousness. When you said that, there's just so much stuff that goes by in my head. I think should I give you the nice answer that
this is Patient Saints Radio. We want the real answer. We don't like the nice answers.
Yeah, I think I shouldn't sugarcoat anything because right now I'm 63 and I'm on a mission right now that I think is in Sand Branch, Texas, and every place I've ever gone with this technology, there were weapons, there was guns, there was drugs, there was violence, because it's been after disasters and so forth. But the hurdles that I've been through are the typical hurdles that you hear about when people like us do something like this. Right. I'll speak plainly. The racism that I've experienced is sometimes it's incredible. I can give you example after example after example, and then even within the family, when people think I do lots of humanitarian work, and I'm doing humanitarian work right now with the Moses West Foundation, getting donations to come into that foundation so I can give a former slave community, a freedmen's community that hasn't had running water for the past since 1868, and now their groundwater is contaminated. And these descendants of former slaves don't want to give up their valuable land because now the city's grown and they want that land. And I'm there trying to ensure that they can stay on the land with this technology. And I'll be back there next week. And so I like the humanitarian side of what I do, but the people who stand in the way of this. First, when I went to Puerto Rico, I was trolled to death. When I got the machine there, they just said all kinds of stuff. But I tell you what, when I started giving 5,000 families, which is about 15,000 people total, drinking water on an entire island, people got quiet. They couldn't say much. And then when I went to Flint, it was the same thing. Then somebody came out and tried to destroy the machine.
Right.
Really?
Right.
They destroyed the generator. They filled it full of coolant because that you won't catch. I was thinking, why isn't the compressor working? And we're checking everything, and what it was they overfilled my system with coolant, and that's something you can't catch because you don't. Who does that?
Right.
So they were pretty smart about what they did. They put metal shavings in the diesel tank on the generator.
Wow.
Because we have a diesel generator attached to the machine because it's a big machine, and it works on solar as well. So the sabotage of the machinery, and then you get to the legal aspect of it. Accused of things you have never done. You spend time in court defending yourself. You spend time in court defending your patents. The amount of time that I spend. I came up with something in this machine that I have. I completely invented this machine that I make today.
Right. Nobody
makes it in the world like it. And there's still people who want to take me to court to take it.
Wow.
The mission in Flint was shut down by by a former business partner. I can tell you all these things now because I'm at the end of this. This is end game.
Right.
This is the year we have to finish this because California's going to run. They're not going to have water next year.
Right.
And remind me to tell you before this is over how California can get all their water. Right. And so it's been difficult. And one example is something that there was a whole litany of things some people said to me one day at a meeting. The first one was I was sitting at dinner at a table with a guy, and he was from an oil company. This was when I had AWG technology. Mm-hmm. And he looked across the table at me in all seriousness. And he goes, Moses? I said, yeah. He goes, are you worried about anybody killing you? There's a dinner. And I sat back and I said, no, not until now. And then people say stuff like, Moses, how did someone like you learn to speak so well? Or Moses, how did someone
at that?
Well, how did someone like you get so smart? Moses, how did someone like you do this, or that? And they can't even hear what they're saying. Mm. And then in manufacturing, I moved manufacturing from Texas to Illinois and to Wisconsin.
Mm. Wow.
Now,
but you can manufacture in Texas, but I can't manufacture in Texas.
I want to throw something out there. Is there, because you said you'll be taking a trip next week and you'll be going to slave land or former slaves' land. Now
we have over 40 of those pieces of property in Texas.
Wow.
And they don't get any assistance. They pay taxes and they don't get city services.
So question, could we or one of our sister or brother channels or shows actually do like a live show or interaction or film while you're on this land doing what you do? I think that'd be something very important for our people to see, especially knowing what the basis of this show is. The slavery that you just mentioned is actually biblical. Okay, the children of Israel were given commandments by God, and because the children of Israel broke those commandments, slavery was one of the punishments that God imposed on the children of Israel. Mm-hmm. And as you read Deuteronomy chapter 28, it goes in great detail, the slavery on ships, yokes of iron around our necks, sons and daughters be given to another people. The curses only fit one people, and that's us, who we consider today so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So this is something that hits home for us, big time, because we know that it's tied biblically. All listen, even what you mentioned about lack of water. Matter of fact, I want to show you something real quick, miss, before you answer our proposal live on air. I do want to read Lamentations chapter 5. Yes. I want to show you something that the Lord said, and it ties right into what the efforts you're putting forth to end. Lamentations 5 and verse. Drunk our water from 4. 4. Is it 4?
Yes, sir.
I'm in chapter 4. That's why. Yeah, Lamentations. Start at verse 1 real quick. Read it quickly.
Yes, sir. Lamentations chapter 5, verse 1. Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Mm-hmm. Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
So here it is. It says our inheritance, which is the land, is turned over to strangers, given to another people. You just made mention the land that the former slaves, sons and daughters of the former slaves have. The city is encroaching on that land. Mm-hmm. You see, you get that, right? The city is, and we know that commonly because we were given the ghettos and the refuse of various cities. And at some point, somebody says, "Wait a minute! I think that ghetto is sitting on prime real estate," and now we term that gentrification. Right. So it's more common than we think. So what you just made mention of that the descendants of those slaves having that land, the city wants that land because they now realize it's prime real estate. Right. So our inheritance, the land that we're given, is now turned over to strangers. Go ahead.
Our houses to aliens.
Our houses are given to aliens because houses are on those lands as well. Go ahead.
We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows.
Go ahead.
We have drunken our water for money.
Wait, there it is right there. Verse 4 says, we have drunken our water for money. Water flows free from the sky. Water is in the air. Your machine pulls water out of the air.
Right.
But for some reason, everywhere water is, we now have to pay for water. It says we have drunken our water for money. That is so the efforts you have been helping with is one of the curses that God said is going to befall the children of Israel. Now we have to pay a water bill. Now we have to, there are some cities you can't have, what do you call that? Rain catcher systems. It's illegal.
Right.
These are simple. It's a basic God-given necessity. Why do we have to jump through hoops like you're doing in order to provide a necessity?
It's free.
So this is why we asked that question. If you want to get back to us about us probably filming live or filming that process, you can either get back to us, or if you want to answer now, that's fine too.
Right. Oh, I can answer now. I just signed a contract with for Paramount and the Smithsonian Channel to film part of this process. But you're more than welcome to come out there and interact.
Got you.
And with everybody in the neighborhood.
Got you.
All praise.
All praise.
I try to do. I did the same thing in Flint. I did it in Puerto Rico. I try to go around and meet everybody and let them know exactly what I'm doing. And everybody that comes down and has questions about the machine, I answer all of the questions. Because I need for everybody in the neighborhood to participate in this so that they can learn about this technology and how to operate it. Right. So once they learn how to operate it, I can go. You're more than welcome to come down.
Oh, man. Get a Lord a round of applause.
Yeah, can I ask my question?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question? My question is, I want to know how do your machine work? If it work outdoor and indoor. How do it work?
Either.
Is there an Oh, he said either. Wow. Okay.
Can you explain? Oh, I'm sorry.
What's the indoor?
I had a question.
Either one. Indoor or outdoor.
Can you explain the hydrologic cycle of water and how it's disrupted by the climate change?
Oh, excuse me.
And how people can invest in your business as well. Those are my two questions.
Okay, the hydrologic cycle. Okay, there's this cycle on the planet where water evaporates, goes into the air, and flows around the planet. Flows around. You see it in our clouds, the Atlantic, the Pacific, the Indian Ocean, all our lakes and streams and rivers. We water our grass. All that water evaporates. It goes up in the air and it comes back to us in rain. We have mountain ranges. So the mountain range, you come from the ocean. As soon as the mountain range goes up, all the clouds stay here, and then the ocean is this way. And so when all those clouds stack up next to the mountain, the mountain gets snow on top, but then lower the mountain, it rains, and that's what made all those rivers that flow back to the sea. So there is this constant evaporation going around, but then on the opposite side of the mountains, that's where you have your desert.
Right.
Because it stopped the moisture coming from the sea. And this cycle has been going on all the time. Water rains down, it comes down in snow, it melts, it runs down in rivers, it goes back to the ocean, it evaporates, goes back up, comes down as rain and snow, and does that constantly over and over and over again. The hydrologic cycle. What we've done now is we've heated up the planet to a place with not only just methane, but CO2, greenhouse gases, CFCs. We've put so much gas in the atmosphere, and there's a lot of that gas. I don't want to scare everybody, but everybody's not thinking about. There's a whole bunch of it up in the Arctic and in the biomass that's in the frozen tundra, the permafrost.
Yes.
Permafrost is disappearing, and so people should really think about all the methane that's locked in that permafrost. If all that stuff popped overnight, the temperature when you got up tomorrow will be 5 degrees higher than it is today. And that stuff is bubbling up like a fizzy can of soda that someone shook up and popped the top off of.
Dang.
That's how fast that's coming out.
Right.
So all of that's been disrupted. So we've always had 3 sources of water: liquid, solid, and a gas. The hydrologic cycle explains all that. The liquid water is in the ocean. The liquid water's in that stream. When that rain hits that mountain, it comes down. Some of that water goes underground, and you see the little springs popping up on the little cartoon drawing. That's the water that's coming underground from the mountain that's popping up in an artesian well. Then you have the rivers. Then you have the snow caps that are melting. All part of the hydrologic cycle explaining water in the liquid form, the solid form, frozen at the top of the mountain, and the gaseous form, because all that water that comes out is going to evaporate from the ocean and go do it again. That has been completely disrupted.
Wow.
So everybody out in California right now, where they've run out of water in the San Joaquin Valley. It's gone. And the water that they do have is contaminated.
Right.
Because of devious stuff they did back in the oil industry days.
Right.
And so now, and then Lake Mead, you see where Lake Mead is at?
Dry. Yeah.
And Lake Mead won't be there next year.
Yeah.
It won't be there next year.
Right.
And instead of having a national emergency right now to try to figure out a big solution, you're going to have millions of people with no water.
Right.
That is a recipe for disaster.
That's interesting you say that, because you would think in like Tahoe, the Sierra Nevadas, the snowpack that we generally get, it's not doing anything. And I had spoke to my grandfather. They said they're so strict even with watering your yard. If they catch you watering your yard, people are actually getting fined in California for that due to that matter. So that's heavy you say that.
So all that water, everybody said, "Oh my God, Lake Mead it's disappeared. It's gone away." No. Lake Mead just went into the air.
Right. Evaporated.
Along with the ocean and everything else on this hot planet that's evaporating, it's going into this clean air that we have, and this clean moisture that's in the air, because no contaminants come with it.
Right.
We just now need to learn how to farm the air, and that's basically what I do.
Farming
the air.
I actually like that term.
It's easy to do in California.
Yeah.
In the San Joaquin Valley, if I had the government funding in the San Joaquin Valley, I could supply everybody in the San Joaquin Valley with drinking water.
Wow.
It's easy. It's not hard.
Wow.
No, that goes with Genesis, when the Most High made everything and it was water in the air.
Mist to water the field.
But I have a couple of more questions for you. Okay, so do you have a foundation where people, because she had asked this, a foundation where people that are interested to invest for those that's like in underdeveloped communities, that do you serve those? Like, for instance, you were saying, so do you have a foundation where someone can donate funds for that to help?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
I do, and I need donations right now, because here's one thing that I do. When people will donate to something that I'm doing a cause, for this cause, the thing that got me initially started on this one, the first donation that came in from a company called GOPX. Alex Slocum, and they donated $15,000 to get this mission started. And so I got everything in place to do Sand Branch. I have a foundation. Then the foundation is called the Moses West Foundation. The reason I call it the Moses West Foundation, when I start refiling patents again, and all of the portion of the profits that I make on the side profit of my company, I try to put them into the foundation, and what the foundation will do is I won't be around forever, but hopefully my work will be around forever. And so part of the profit of my company will go back into that foundation, and that foundation will be able to provide people with education about renewable energy, about renewable food sources, about this water technology, get people these systems in there, and people could donate to it even after I'm gone. So that's why I gave the foundation my name. So the Moses West Foundation, if you have donors that can donate to it, please donate to it, because right now I need to get back to the machine was damaged in transport. So we shipped it all the way back to to my manufacturing facility where we manufacture up here in the Midwest. And now next week I have to ship it all the way back to Sand Branch. and put it back in place. And I'm staying in Sand Branch. I'm one of the few people that come into a place and stay.
Right.
So I got a trailer from the United States Army, from the Recreation Service, a nice 26-foot trailer. It's air conditioned and it's nice, but I pulled it all the way up there, and I definitely got my cowboy credentials because I backed that thing up all the way behind that house.
Yeah.
Set it in place, and only got one scratch on the truck.
Oh, that's it? Just one?
Just one.
Okay.
Just one.
Okay.
And so I'm staying there because the people in the neighborhood need to know that I'm invested in them, in their water security.
Right.
We're putting in an organic garden. That organic garden needs to be paid for. Donations can do all that.
Gotcha.
And so a lot of people, when they donate to an organization, they don't know what the money's doing.
Right.
When you donate to my foundation, I tell you exactly what I'm doing because you get to see me when I start to post up every day.
Gotcha.
You can see, hey, the guy just bought a bunch of wood for the organic garden. I just put in $2,000 and now he's got all this wood. And that's how it works.
Got you.
There's like no administrative fees. There's nothing between the donation and the generator, the donation and the water generator, the donation and the wood for the garden or the peat moss that you need.
Mr. Moses, I got one, maybe two questions. First question. Do you know what Moses means?
I was just thinking that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Of the water.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Okay. Second question. When the Sister Leah was giving an introduction, it seemed like you had a lot of combat background. And listening to you talk about your machine, it's not like a simple, a bike with two wheels and a chain and a sprocket to make it, what it is. It doesn't seem that simple. How does the combat experience and translate over to such a complex work of art, so to speak? Is it self-taught? Did you, was it some type like collegiate thing? Like, how did you make that transition from combat to that kind of community service type situation?
Very, very, very easy. I started out I was a commissioned officer, so I started out as a second lieutenant. And as a second lieutenant, I was an infantry officer. Then I got selected for the 75th Ranger Regiment. So school-trained Ranger, airborne. And so back in the day, that was a pretty tough school. So it was one of the toughest things I ever did. I learned how to be on my feet with just a few hours sleep every night, and some days, 2-3 days without sleep, carrying 90 pounds of gear, up mountains, down mountains, jumping out of planes in the middle of nowhere, working with my 11-man team, having to function on very little food, lots of stress. It was one of the hardest things I ever did. Lost a lot of weight, but when I came out of it, I felt accomplished because I did things that I knew my body couldn't do, that we thought it couldn't do, and I made my mind do things that I thought my mind couldn't do. It was not easy. And so that gave me a sense of mental toughness and esprit de corps and just loyalty between a tight-knit group of people.
Got you.
So I stayed in the infantry for several years. And then after that, when I said, okay, I've always wanted to be a pilot. So what I did was I went to flight school. I became an Aero Scout. And as an Aero Scout, I was basically air battle captain. I would direct the A-10s when they came in. I flew an aircraft by myself and direct the A-10 fire. There's a lot of skill to this. There's an intensity to it, but you can't be afraid to kill. And it can't bother you when you see death. It just can't. So you have to shut all this down, and you have to become you have to be surgical about your mission and surgical about your destruction. And so, but that's what a good soldier does. That's what a warrior does. And all of us, we are warriors. We come from a warrior class of people. And that's how we've survived this long. It's a warrior class of people that survives 400 years of what we went through. It's a warrior class of people that survives the Middle Passage.
All right. I agree.
So, being here in the United States, this is what I did. I tapped into that warrior spirit. But now on the technical side of it, I decided after that, okay, I'm a pilot, but that's not enough. I want to be a test pilot. So I became a test pilot in 2 aircraft. As a test pilot, I got to know everything about the aircraft from the nose to the tail, about the engines, the hydraulics, the landing gear, the prop and rotor, the electronics, the avionics, everything, because I supervise all of the shops that do this maintenance. So when I walk into a shop and they've got the hydraulic motor off of the engine and all the hydraulic lines, I need to know everything that these guys are doing, because when they put it back on the aircraft, I got to go fly it.
Right.
And that's how it translated into this machine that I built. Because I used to get bored, and you don't see officers out there working on an engine. I would tell the engine guys, I want to get my toolbox and I want to go work on this engine. So I go out there and mess the engine up, and they come out and fix it. But I got to get inside of it.
The hand's still dirty.
Right. So you're a scientist at heart, just a scientist with a rucksack and an M16 or a plane.
Right.
A 9.
But what I did was all of that energy for destruction and all of that technical knowledge. What I did was I went through a very hard time, like many soldiers who transition out of the military do. I went through a very rough time. It took me years to come back to the person I am today after doing what I went through in the military. It took me a long time to recover. And I was injured, and I spent a long time in hospital recovering. But what I decided to do is that if I've got that much energy that I can focus on being just so destructive, take that same energy and focus it into something so positive, and you can't help but lose. If I got a Ranger team, you can't stop me. If I've got a humanitarian team that operates on the same mentality, but instead of destruction, you look at helping, empathy, caring, you can't be stopped.
So, you know what? Your statement kind of reminds me of repentance. Before we understood who we were according to the Bible, and that we must keep the commandments of God with faith in the Black Messiah, Jesus the Christ, we were very destructive. We were, some through military, some through making single parent households, some through gang activity, robbery, whatever, all the
destruction,
all the destruction that we as a people have actually grown numb to, because it's become the norm. But when you learn that, you are an Israelite and God has requirements for you, what happens is you begin to change into, can I have that in 2 Samuel? You begin to change into somebody else. Like you said, it took a while for you to become the man that you are now, or once was, and becoming a better version of it. And that's what this truth is about. You learn the error of your ways. Like, listen, I was destructive. I was harmful to my people. I once sold drugs, destroying my community. I was the gangbanger, destroying my community. And you start to learn that from Genesis to Revelation is talking about one people, the children of Israel. And you realize that you are that people. You are the children of Israel. And God has a requirement. There's a change that happens. Read that real quick.
1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 6.
Come on.
And the Spirit of the Lord will come upon thee, and thou shalt prophesy with them, and shall be turned into another man.
That's what happens. The Spirit of the Lord comes upon you. You realize the error of your ways. You repent. And God says you turn into another man. You're no longer that destructive man anymore. You're no longer that destructive woman anymore. The abortion rates and all of these things that we do that literally cripple our people. We then turn into a better version of what we once were. All right. So that was just a reminder as you were talking. I'm thinking about it spiritually. That's exactly what the process is.
I think about it spiritually as well. I said to myself that all of the destructive stuff, of the destructive nature of my military life, and there's missions I had in the military. I'm sure I could talk about them now, but it's probably not necessary. But just hyper destructive.
Yeah.
And then to be, even when you left the military, still carry some of that destructive behavior with you.
Yes.
It took a very long time to find my true spirit again, and the person that I was prior to doing all these things. Mm-hmm. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything. I
make water.
I body, mind, and spirit. Right. My body, my mind, and my spirit.
Right.
It's just these three things that have to be in sync and in balance. Yeah. And so I look at, for everything that I've ever done in my life, to be able to do something like this at this portion of my life, to help as many people as I'm able to help, is what I was put here for. Right. I know it, because when people come up and tell you that, especially in Flint or in Puerto Rico, they say, "You saved my life," or "You saved my husband's life." Right. Those are words that are greater than, "I'm giving you $1 million." Right. Saving someone's life. It's an old proverb that says, "He who saves one saves the world entire."
Right. So yeah, trust me, we all feel the same way. Until we heard this truth, we were bound for death, but it saved our lives, like literally. I have a question. What level of support have you received from the black community? Because I know you were in Flint. It's predominantly a black community, who is in need of water, rather. Same thing in Puerto Rico. Those Puerto Ricos are people as well. How much support have you received, both through letters, through calls, through emails, from the so-called black and Hispanic community, who are in a lot of these places that are impoverished and in need of clean water, whether it be, or even in Africa, places like that? Have you received a lot of support from the black and Hispanic community?
When people find out about it, I'm pretty easily accessible, and people will call or people will write, and they let me know that they're very happy about what they see and what's going on. But financial support for the foundation, it's been very little. But it needs to be it needs to be more, because right now what I'm doing is the model for what they need to do. This is the model so that everybody can have, or what I'm doing in Sand Branch.
Got you.
You'll be able to come out there and you'll be able to replicate this work. This is not something like where everyone says, "Well, we have to pay them to replicate this work." No, you don't. Just let me do it, and I'll show you how to copy it. Because
okay.
Yes, I mean, when I put the water generator in, and then I put the water tower in, and then I put that line to that house into that garden, and everybody in the neighborhood can come there and fill up cases of water, pick and work in an organic garden with non-toxic fruits and vegetables. And there's a house that didn't have clean drinking water before. Now it's got clean drinking water, and they can water the grass, take a shower, cook with the water.
Wow. And
they're not on the city water main. And if I add solar to that house, they don't have an electric bill. This is a disrupting technology. This is disrupting. This goes against everything what they want to keep you under.
Damn.
An electric bill, a water bill. You don't need either of those.
Bring it out.
Either one. So this is revolutionary.
So it leads me to my next question. My next question is, you made mention you were in a meeting, and the man mentioned to you, don't you know they'll try to kill you, or something along those lines. You made mention. Have you received actual death threats?
No, but I received threats like, "People, I'm going to destroy you."
Got you. Okay. He's like, "I'm not moved by that. I'm not moved." Yeah. Okay. So I guess the first statement you made, that, you know, you're showing people the how to in order to replicate if necessary, and to maintain, which was Sister Iona's question earlier, how to maintain the machine. So you may mention that you're not going to be here forever. So you're not just leaving the machine per se, but you're leaving the know-how, how to replicate it as well. So the process continues. It doesn't end when you're gone.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Nice.
The worst thing that there's companies in the world that do this, and there's a company that actually followed me to if they make a little solar panel and it makes a couple of liters of water a day, and they actually came out there last week and dropped off 5 of these panels. Those people never heard of Sand Branch until I got there.
Got you. Oh, okay.
So whatever I do,
that's what they call clout chasing.
Yeah, it's a churn and dump. They come in with something and they say, we got this, and then they have a big board of directors, people that they've convinced to invest into this, and they do that. But they followed me into a couple places. They got kicked out of every place they went to. And then they go to another place and they just replicate it. They make money, then they get out.
Gotcha.
And that's how they work.
Gotcha.
What I'm doing is I'm laying a foundation for something that you need in the future, that the kids will need, because we baby boomers did such a bad job of stewardship of this planet.
Yes. Yes.
We didn't do a good job. And all the kids are looking at us like, look what you did. I'm giving them a way to get some water.
Right.
Either I'm here or not. I'm showing them how to do it.
Right.
And when I get these kids in and I show that, like in Sand Branch, all the kids are going to come and they're going to see how to do this. And one of those kids one day is going to take this technology further than I can.
Yes.
That's my job.
That's what I wanted to ask them.
That's my job.
Wow.
And so the Moses West Foundation, the donations to that foundation, I wish more people in our community would donate to it. A lot of the people that donate to it are not from our community.
Yes. Yes.
We're not supporting it. A lot of times people think, I'm glad y'all have me on here because I don't do many interviews anymore.
Right.
I just work. I just work. We're just coming out of COVID. So this is the first summer coming out of COVID, and I'm back into it.
Yeah.
And I remember going to Flint. I went back out there because they said the water's still bad. Wow. So I went back out there to turn the machine on. And I remember flying from Texas out there. I got back to Texas and I was sick. Wow. That's like the third time catching COVID.
Yeah.
But I don't stop working.
Right.
Because I have to work because I know the importance of this.
Right. Right.
Excellent. Excellent stuff.
Mr. West, I have one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
From the beginning of an order until the end, what is the time frame it takes you to manufacture one of these machines?
Good question.
Right now we're looking at, it's gotten a little bit better. So right now we're looking at 180 days. And so I say 180 days because that gives us leeway. If I get it done in 90, that's even better.
Right.
But 180 because the supply chain issues, I don't know what's going to happen. So on the military right now, they gave me 180 days. So I say 180 days.
Wow. That's some real good stuff. Real good stuff.
But next year, with what's going on in California, I think I'll get that down to probably 60 days.
Right. Wow.
Can I?
Wow.
Okay. Mr. West. All right. So
yes.
I heard you saying that the goal is to have the next generation continue what you've developed, right?
Yes.
A lot of our children are kinesthetic, or they like hands-on stuff, right? They work well that way. With you having the machines and whatever sites that you have them on, if children are brought to those sites, you give them hands-on, like, hey, this is what this is, like actually teaching them the foundations and the workings of the machinery, and I mean, like small engineering courses for children that's in those areas, or like, say, for instance, if we say, hey, Mr. West is going to be in what do you call it? Sand Branch.
Sand Branch.
We're like, hey, we're taking the kids to go see Mr. Moses and the water machine and how like is that a doable thing?
Yes, it is, because I have some pictures from Flint, Michigan. When I first got to Flint, and it was an amazing thing that happened. People would drop their kids off because they trusted me.
Wow.
And it's like, okay. People come, will you watch my kids? I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Because so many people would come up to get water. So I had all these little kids running around. And then I had these white blocks that they go under the legs of the machines.
Right.
And so I got all the little kids together and said, okay, we're going to go get some blocks. And they're like, okay. It would take two little boys to carry one block, but they would do it. You know, and so they all the little kids were helping around and said, okay, go get that garden hose and pull it over here. So you got 5 little kids pulling a garden hose over. And so, you know, you just give them little things to do. And then they feel like they're participating. And they are participating.
And you know what? Like I made mention earlier in the show, a lot of our children we only able to show them pictures of inventors.
Right.
So I don't think you understand how the magnitude of those young kids. You're saying, hey, bring that hose, do this, that, and the third, and they were actually seeing the creation of someone that looks just like them being used on such a large scale. Listen, there's a term now, give them their flowers while they're here.
Right.
Mr. West, we want to commend you, brother, while you are still here with us. All right? We really do, because I'm telling you, like I said, we did it when you were in Flint a few years back. We were all here doing the review on it, the commentary, and we were all in awe to see. And they made that movie. I think it was Russell Crowe, A Beautiful Mind. I'm sorry, I got to get another scripture. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6.
Let's get it.
Right. Because this is something that the same way what your example that you're giving to these young men is to young women, young boys, young girls, is to boost their self-esteem, have the mindset that they can do it. We have a lot of things in our community where they give us the mindset you can only be a basketball player, a drug dealer, or it's very limited. But to see an actual inventor right before your eyes, able to touch him, reach out to him, talk to him, get some insight, get some wisdom on how it's done, it's epic for me. Deuteronomy 7 verse 6. I want to show you something.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So now, oftentimes, little black boys, little black girls, little Hispanic boys, little Hispanic girls never heard that they are above all people on the face of the earth. We are forced to be as though we're everyone else in order to fit in. But God actually made a separation with the children of Israel. He clearly said that we are above all people on the face of the earth. When you think of the strongest, the fastest, the actual greatest thinkers in history have actually been our people. You know, making inventions to make life easier and open heart surgery, things of that nature, all these various items that a critical thinker sat down, saw a need, and said, okay, this void is here, I'm going to fill it. Let me tell you, Mr. West, that's the Spirit of God in you, bro. I'm telling you. The Spirit of God that has given you the understanding that you are above all people. What you created, nobody else was able to do. And now they come to you for the wisdom that God placed in you. So this is something that young boys, young girls need to hear as well. God made you greater and better than everybody else. So we need to walk in that posture, knowing that there's nothing we can't do. All right?
Absolutely.
Give him a round of applause.
Yes, the children in this, I go to schools, and I'm going to go to some schools here and hopefully do some online work with the children on the south side of Chicago. And I just talked with a pastor down there who he did an excellent job of cleaning up a neighborhood. And we want to put in a community garden down there using this technology. There's a couple, I speak with schools in Texas, all types of schools in Texas. And the children are very excited about this technology. They're very excited when someone comes to the school who actually talks to them like people.
Right,
not like children.
Right.
And I listen to their ideas, and believe it or not, the kids in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade have some of the best ideas that I've ever seen.
Right. So you're actually rubbing elbows with the next wave of great inventors.
Yes, this technology in the foundation, the Moses West Foundation, just by supporting that foundation, what you're supporting is you're supporting the future STEM program, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, on the 17 tenets of sustainability, where the United Nations has told us we need to be completely sustainable.
Right. Okay.
We were able to do some sustainability. We have solar, we have recycling, composting, and things like that, and organic food operations, biofuels, and to being sustainable. The one thing we didn't have was water. Right. So the water generator became the linchpin, the thing that held everything together, that makes sustainability 100% net zero.
Absolutely.
Damn. I'm just waiting for the first person to do it, because right now, between working for the military, training the military, and then trying my best with my foundation to get this done in the civilian community, because water's humanitarian.
Right.
It's not to be for the profit side. It's humanitarian, because you can't do anything without water. And so if just supporting this one mission, it'll support other missions. Right now, I keep telling everybody, when I finish Sand Branch, the next person who's going to go out and do the next Sand Branch, they're going to learn how to do it at Sand Branch.
God, okay. Hands on.
I got to stop doing it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I need to teach other people to do it. So please get people to donate to them to the Moses West Foundation, so I can train someone else to do my job and give them the machines to go out and do it.
Right. Absolutely. We here at Israel United in Christ, Patient Saints Radio, we're going to answer that call, sir. We are surely going to answer that call. So, Officer Lish, I sent you the foundation. Let's put it up on the screen. And we'll also do this during our Sabbath classes as well. Why not? Well, not during, after Sabbath class. Why not? Because we have a lot of subscribers. So we do want to help the mission, because we too see that vision. No, I sent you a link. I sent you. Go ahead, Mr. West.
I was when Hurricane Katrina hit, and this is that wild side of me that was thinking. I was sitting in the house. I was getting ready to fly back to Australia, and I was over here visiting, and Hurricane Katrina hit. And I was sitting there with a friend of mine, and we're watching it. And we're watching the people on the roof waving the signs, "Help us, help us, help us." The first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day, the fifth day. And then you saw people walking down the streets. Then they heard about people going over places looking for water and getting shot because they blocked off bridges and they didn't want people to cross them.
Yep.
Okay, correct. I didn't do it, so I can't get in trouble. So I'll tell you what I was thinking about doing. I was thinking about going up to the military base, putting my flight suit on, walking in, and going out to the flight line, starting up a Chinook, taking my buddy with me, and I would tell him what to do inside the aircraft. I'd tell him what button to switch and turn and push.
Right.
And I thought about flying that aircraft down there and then stopping along the way and picking up sling loads of water and putting it on the roof. And I could have done that myself.
Right.
And I was like, okay, so I'd still be in Leavenworth right now, but I didn't do it. But now the hurricane season is here. It's coming up, and it's gonna be early. How many of us we're all down in Louisiana, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky. We're all in there. North Carolina, South Carolina, and whenever a place gets devastated, the last time a hurricane came through there, one of my friends, she's up in D.C. right now. She was telling me the people call her from Louisiana. They said they made 2 lines of people. This people that look this way went this way.
Really?
To Hyatt, Sheraton, Marriott. These people went to Hotel
6.
Nightingale.
Right.
Strip Hotel this way.
Went
Next to the Road Hotel, that one.
Damn. Yeah.
They divided people up.
Red roof inn. If anybody ever stayed at Red Roof Inn, you know what that looks like. It's
a micro tail.
Yeah. And so now, when the church has this technology, and they're going to buy bottled water, they're going to Nestle, they're going to Aquafina, they're going to these companies to buy cases of bottled water.
Right.
Not only are we buying bottled water that we're going to sit out. And if it sits out in the sun for 2 days, people don't want to drink it because it tastes like plastic.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We can go down there with the church, with the machine, make water, and just sit there. Making water. Yeah. You don't need the truck. You don't need the trailer. You don't need to go to Kmart, Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco. You don't need to go there. And you're making your own water.
Right.
So that money that you're going to spend, guess where it stays?
Yep. There you go.
Church.
There you go.
Man.
Can I get scripts?
Yes, sir.
Hey, let me get Proverbs 8 and 12. Hey, because Mr. West, Captain Shemaiah brought out a scripture in Deuteronomy showing that we are the God's chosen people on this earth. Have you heard that any traveling around and helping people with water that we are the Israelites? Have you heard that?
Quite often.
Okay, that's cool.
Praise.
Hey, this is just a scripture that reminds me of you, and I think that this will resonate with you as well. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 8, verse 12. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence.
In this scripture, prudent means, cautious in matters, practical matters, things like that. Wisdom dwells with people who think practical things, like you thinking about the condition of our people, thinking that we need water, thinking of how to transport the water, thinking of the fact that if it sits out too long, you can't or you won't want to consume this water. You are prudent in practical things. Read
and find out knowledge of witty inventions.
The people who think like you think, the Most High has given in you to be able to think of these smart inventions to combat those practical matters. So I thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. But I've done when we'll talk again, but I have to tell you, my experience is long and deep, because I was never one to just say, oh, I just want to go do this one thing. I want to stay doing this forever. I would experiment with everything I did. When I was in the military, I see an aircraft carrier, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go on that aircraft carrier. So I go over and I get a tour of the whole aircraft carrier. I'm very curious, and so I experienced a lot. But with water, there was a divine energy pushing me always in the direction of water. I was in the Gulf War, and I remember how bad the water was because it sat in the sun, and I couldn't get my guys to drink it. I was the commander, and so what I wound up doing was I would say, okay, but I'm not going to drink it. I can't make you all drink it. And so we would get the bulldozer, the big military bulldozer, and we would dig a big hole in the sand, and we push the water into the hole. Then we cover it up. There's so many holes in the desert full of water.
Oh, wow.
Then the plane would come back, the C-5A would come back down, push out pallets of water again. Guys would take, in the plane, it takes $100,000 an hour more, $120,000, $130,000 an hour to fly that plane.
Wow.
15 hours from the States with water. And then they push it out onto the runway. And you know what we would do?
Buried in the desert.
We would go get as many cases as we could, put them in the tents and undercover. We didn't have coolers. We didn't have ice. The rest of it would sit out there, and then we did the bulldozer drill again.
Wow. So you're saying it's more cost effective to just have your machine instead of doing all of that.
Exactly, but those little things that happen. Those are the things that made me think about this, and the experiences of it. And then living in Australia, if I never would have went to Australia, I never would have understood what really true drought is. When I landed in Australia one time, and everybody told me, it's like, don't drink the water, man. I said, why? I think your water tastes good. They go, well, the drought is so bad, we've had to, when we purify it from the sewage treatment plant, we turn the pipe around, and now it's coming back in the tap.
Wow. Yikes.
I said, where's that bottle at?
Oh, man. Hey, Mr. West, we're winding down to the end of our show, and I did not want us to end the show without showing your foundation. We have it up on the screen now. Is there any last words you want to leave us with, sir?
I think the last words I'll leave you with is a lot of people are feeling very hopeless at times, especially like in Flint because the water's still bad, in California because the water's running out, and people kind of lose hope.
Something happened.
What just happened? Mr. West went mute.
Striving to do better.
Okay, there it is. Okay. Could you repeat that real quick? We lost connection for a second.
I said for the people out there that kind of look at everything and kind of see it as being very bleak, I don't think they should, because there's people out there today. I only have a small piece of that puzzle, and this small piece of the puzzle that I do is just water and sustainability. But there's people out there that are working very, very diligently to make sure that we have a good, survivable, plentiful, abundant future.
Yes.
And the children need to understand that as well, because their children are getting very depressed because they don't see anybody doing anything. So when they see people doing stuff, there's hope.
Yes.
And then when you get them involved in it, there's hope. So the message I want to leave with everybody is that we're working for a solution. I'm working for a solution for water. So there's not a community that's in the equatorial zone around the world that doesn't have water.
Yes, sir.
Because I've proven that it can be done. The message I would leave is there's hope.
Yes.
And donate to the Moses West Foundation so we can continue our missions.
That's right. Hey, let's give Moses West another round of applause. Thank you, sir, for being on Patient Saints Radio. And, we'll definitely be in contact with you throughout the week.
See you in San Branch.
See you in San Branch. We'll continue to be in contact with you. Sister Leah will remain in contact with you as well. And we look forward to hearing from and seeing you real soon, sir. All right. You'll be in our prayers. We pray that you continue to do the work, because Most High, the Lord, has put this in your spirit, and we'll continue to keep you in prayer, sir. All right.
Thank you.
It's definitely a pleasure having you on the show, sir.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
So let's play the right there on the screen. Everyone can see. Go back down. Go back down. The Moses West Foundation. And I believe I think it's the MosesWestFoundation.org, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Is it? The MosesWestFoundation.org. So go up to the top. So this is how the site looks. Go all the way to the top. There you go. Make sure you go on, you donate, and help the mission, because again, what are we going to do without water?
Right.
Prophecy, there's famine coming again. These are things that we have to think of. There's a reason why the Lord put this together at this time, along with those prophecies of famine that's coming, has been coming out by our esteemed leaders and bishops. So again, the MosesWestFoundation.org is the site, and give you
I would like to give you all the offer that if y'all want to come out and film, but if some of your congregation wants to come out and help with the community garden, because I want to elevate the garden. If y'all want to come out and put hammer to nail to wood, and help interact with the community,
right? as long as Mr. West, we'll take you up on that offer as long as it's not on the Lord's Sabbath day, which is Saturday. Other than that,
we
will be there. We'll make sure to be there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, make sure you bring your coveralls and work gloves.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. So again, Sister Leah will be in contact with you, sir, and we'll definitely get the ball rolling on that ASAP. All right.
Okay, looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you again, sir. Thank you. It was definitely an honor. It was an honor. All right.
Sir.
All praises to the Lord, man. Damn, that was a good interview.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a far cry from Jesse Lee Peterson's interview. Oh my Lord. We did Jesse Lee Peterson.
Doing circles.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I left that interview with a headache. Woo. Jesse Lee Peterson gave. Oh man, he had. I know we have some commercials we have to show, so we're gonna go to that. Let's finish out with these commercials real quick.
Do. You come to the right place.
You come to the right place.
It's All About Fashion is here to teach you a feasible trade that can be passed on from generation to generation, bringing one's talent and creation to life from pattern to material to runway, giving a revival to women and men who are born creators. Classes can be booked one-on-one or online. Please also check us out for our Sip and Stitch pop-up shops.
Not right now, maybe later.
I need you to
We're back. We're back. We're back on Patient Saints Radio. Sister Leah was doing some kind of conga line dance just now to the commercial music. I don't know what that was. But hey, Sister Leah, you made mention something that you and Mr. West had discussed about.
Yes. So the mission that he's on right now, there are over 40, slave homes that they're purposely, the government is trying to pretty much starve them out. They're not providing them with clean water in the hopes that they'll just leave.
They'll just leave and they'll get the land.
They'll get the land.
Wow. Listen, and Captain Aryeh made a great point, follow a point that, listen, the Lord is showing us something. Like I said, all these prophecies are coming out about the time that we're approaching. All these prophecies are coming out about the famine to come, the evil time to come, the pestilence, all of these things that Bishop went over it last night. And now here we did a segment on Mr. West 3 years ago. Right. 3 years ago with the Flint water. And now he's here giving us some great insight about the water that we're going to need. Right. Israel, listen. Y'all might want to start donating because it may just be you that's going to need that water in a city near you. All right. So, don't be what do you call it? Lackadaisical. Don't be make haste. Make haste to assist and don't think that I guess any amount will help. The same way here, in your various schools, we deal with the food pantries, things of that nature. These are things that you're going to need. Basic food, and he made mention of sustainable gardens and things of that nature. For some of you who know, we have various telegrams that go into the gardening portion that we all should have, self-sustainability that we all should have. These are things that are already in place. They're already in place. And I know some of you that are watching, you may not be in the congregation yet. Listen, woe unto you that's by yourself in those days. Woe unto you, because like he made when Mr. West made mention that all he needed was a few rangers. He said 11 of them can't stop me. You can't stop them. And then he said now in the humanitarian side, if he has a good group of a core set or good group, he said there's a ton of things they can do. And it's the same thing here. You can't, it says Zephaniah 2:1 tells us to gather ourselves together. All right. You can't, listen, don't just be online watching and like, I hear the prophecies. I heard Mr. West. I heard all of that. But I'm going to stay by myself. Bruh, it's going to suck for you in that time.
Right. Come running up the eye water machine, talking about something. I'm a boy, where you been at, boy?
Where you been?
We get that every year. For Passover.
At Tabernacles.
We start getting a ton of emails. Oh, can I come to y'all Passover? Who are you? There was a sister or family that reached out. They live in Jonesboro. They live 10 minutes from here, and they've never been to the school. I've been watching y'all for about 2 years now. Can I come to your Passover? Where are you?
Where you been?
Oh yeah, I live in Jonesboro. Well, why haven't you come to the school and come and fellowship, keep God's commandments? Yeah. But can I come to your Passover? Hell to the no, you can't come to our Passover. No, this is not Easter Sunday.
Right. Can I get some of y'all water machine water? No.
You know how they try to give you that backwash, try to pass you their water? I'm gonna take a swig here. Take a swig. No, ain't gonna be no backwash.
No, sir.
No backwash. No.
Oh, he got it.
That's not how the Lord wants it done.
Right.
The Lord doesn't want any of us to perish. But guess what? Some of us are gonna perish. He'll rather we all repent. But some of y'all rather just sit at home and
thirst out
and hate discipline, hate order, hate structure, hate correction, hate rebuke. You hate it. But yet, when it's time for the Passover, you want to go get a nice garment. You want to step up on stage on singles night. You want to do all of those things.
You want to sell your wares,
right? You want to. Oh Lord, don't get me started on that. Hey, listen, we're gonna put a tighter constraint on that too.
Yes,
about who can participate in Black Wall Street. That thing about to be so tight on y'all, you don't even know. If you ain't putting in no work, you shouldn't be selling nothing.
A damn thing.
Shouldn't be selling nothing. If you don't know your name by your works that you put in, you shouldn't be selling nothing at Passover.
Right.
Nothing. You only here to make merchandise.
Flip the money table over around on here, y'all.
Don't get me started, man. Don't get me started. Yeah, we shut down Black Wall Street here. So yeah.
Where you been, boy?
It is what it is. It is what it. Let the chips fall where they may.
Where they may.
Where they may.
Where they may.
Y'all crazy.
I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
Yeah, we had a couple of other things that we did want to get to, especially that school system, but we are out of time.
Oh, and the boy who made the one invention. I put it in.
You did put it in there.
Yeah.
And that they tried to kill him.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, we got next week. Next week. No.
I'm trying to squeeze stuff in.
The reason why? No. Remember, our people have a short attention span.
So you got to tell them
So you got
again
a
next
recap.
week.
It's called a recap.
Right, and you want this thing that happened today. This is epic in history.
it is.
I'm telling y'all don't understand the Spirit of the Lord is moving amongst us through our bishops, patient saints, all the radio shows as a whole that bring forth, solutions. But don't let this slip past your minds, Israel. What came out today is epic.
Yep, it is.
It's monumental.
It is. And I want to know who in the hell has the wrench for these different YouTube channels? Because this dude every week this guy keeps putting porn after porn after porn, and nobody.
Yeah.
I just keep deleting, but he'll just come back.
Oh yeah, it don't even delete for you though. I don't even know.
Or block. I do block, and it just he's there.
Who
2 minutes later,
that?
he's back again. Hey,
who oversees that?
Yeah,
Nobody knows.
They don't know.
He never leaves.
So here's the thing. We want to end it with: make sure you support the Deuteronomy 28 projects that are coming out every single day.
That's right.
Every single day, another verse or verses of the breakdown of Deuteronomy 28 gets released on IUIC events. Every single day.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you just found that out?
Yes.
You learn something new on Patient Saints every Sunday.
Every Sunday. So they're up to verse, I think it's verse 18 now. Verse 19. Verse 19. So every single day you're going to get the visuals along with the scriptures, because we're a visual people. Hence the camp sign, so on and so go. So you should already be subscribed to IUIC events. They should be dropping shout out Tuesdays on there. Y'all should already be subscribed. So on IUIC events, every day a verse or verses from Deuteronomy 28 with the visuals, the great captains doing their sexy voice for the commentary.
Gosh.
Hey, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse. Hey, show it right there. Yeah, show it.
Dope.
You
dirty devil.
You can put I understand.
Come on. Okay, here we go.
Wait, hold on.
So now it's inappropriate?
Stop.
Right. Why
They put that tag on our
Wow.
saying our video's inappropriate.
The whole chapter.
Talk to the mic.
Stop.
Because it'll make people not click on it.
Well, I didn't know that was there.
It wasn't there before.
It's a trigger.
Yeah, it wasn't there before.
Trigger warning.
Yeah, it's a trigger.
Whoa. Captain OC, I hope you're listening to this. Bishop Nathaniel, I hope you're listening to this.
Hope y'all
boy.
So they put that. What did it say again?
Inappropriate.
Inappropriate from some viewers, and then make you have caution before entering.
So you won't click it.
So some people won't click.
Esau
Younger
is the
people
devil.
are conditioned to not click on that, or they shouldn't click on things like that because they think it's inappropriate. So just make sure numbers go down.
Wow.
I'm glad I'm from that other version where they like, don't do that. What?
Hey, play a little bit of that.
Let's get it.
Wow.
Deuteronomy 28 is going into the curses and the blessings that fell upon the children of Israel and the children of Israel only. Verse 19 specifically is speaking about the Israelites being born into a curse, and when they die, they left in a cursed position. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 19. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Please don't tell me my boyfriend just went like that.
This is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. Chapter 41.
Save it. Y'all gotta go and click.
Scared the hell out of me.
I was like, oh, scary because it's so powerful.
Hey, that's right.
This is fire.
That's powerful, man.
Yes,
Did from verse 16 all the way up to verse 68. So tune in every day. Subscribe to IUIC events.
And they want you to comment too. Comment.
Make sure you comment and respond to comments and comment on each other's comments. so it could drive the algorithms, and typing it at Esau's the devil for what they did on YouTube with that little warning.
And also for some of them that have not seen it from the beginning of verse 16, we don't want to spoil it. So y'all really got to go through it in order. All right? Let it all flow for you.
Look at this. Hold on. Look at this. Somebody is putting a toy rod into the rectum of a horse.
Come on,
but this don't have a warning.
Right.
I logged out to log back into to Patient Saints, to the live channel, because I went to.
I say, what's on your
somewhere
YouTube
else.
algorithm?
Natural insemination.
It's in the shorts.
Oh, the inseminations. Oh,
what the hell?
Oh man,
Mr. Ed,
you ain't got to click on that though. We give you that. Yeah. We give you 40 seconds of that free of charge, baby.
This is the thing. Esau said, "Listen," and Bishop went over it last night. Showing you who you are is more threatening than all of the filth that's on the internet. That's why we ain't got to worry about guns and knives and all that. You stay in these scriptures. You stay in these commandments with faith in Christ.
Right.
They fear you because guess what? Their end. They can smell their time. They'll see that their time is short.
Smell of death.
Smell of death to them. All right, but we're going to end it there, y'all.
All right, well, you can learn about Deuteronomy 28, or you could watch a horse butt. But
that's it.
What you going to do?
What you going to do?
Your nationality or a horse butt.
What you going to do, Ed?
But guess what? We got schools at 691 Highway 138 in Riverdale, Georgia, where there are no horse butts allowed. Right. You can come down every Sabbath, learn your nationality, learn to keep God's commandments, and learn to get built up in a strong foundation. You can donate to PSR at iuic.atlanta@israelunite.org. If you want to help the Booster Club to keep pushing nationality throughout the earth, you can donate at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org. If you need to get in some water with some oil, we got Sister Elisheba Israel here right now. Sister Elisheba, do you need to tell the sisters anything?
Just continue to support the Hadessa Bath Challenge. PrettyModestThings.com. 51% of the proceeds will be donated right back to the body. And if you want to have your business advertised on Patient Saint Radio, please send me an email at IamElishebaIsrael@gmail.com. Again, that is IamElishebaIsrael@gmail.com.
And if you want your invention shown and Unite Gigawatt, reach out to Sister Leia.
Hey, Gigawatts, when Gigawatts, patent all his stuff and all of that stuff, and calm down.
Yeah.
Come back.
All Gigawatts got to do is just calm down. We would love to go over your patented stuff, but we don't want it shown if it's not patented, because Esau's only going to steal your stuff.
Exactly.
Right? So make sure you go through the proper trademarks and all that. When you have all of that Gigawatts, we'll love to show your invention, because we also think you're one of those beautiful minds or smart brothers.
Witty
you just need to dial it back a little bit. That's it. So we want to thank Officer Alicia, and I know when Officer Kenani is here, because he's the only one that plays his own music.
That's our Rails beat.
We never hear that beat any periodically. Officer Alicia, Officer Zedaniah, Officer Malachi, Officer Kenani, Officer Arel, Officer Dino, Officer Emmanuel, Officer Matthias, Soldier Uzzah, Soldier Caleb, Soldier Heman, Soldier Uzziah. And the sisters that provided breakfast this morning is Sister Suzanne and Sister Aaliyah. All praises. Thank y'all.
Don't forget IUIC TV, 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
YouTube, 7 days a week, 3 times a day if you ain't got to hit the little inappropriate button. So don't forget.
All praise to the Most High. With that, Israel, we say shalom.
Shalom.
That's why we're out here, to give you the truth. Psalms chapter 119 verse 142. Read. Psalms chapter 119 and verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy love is the truth.